I got a pineapple. Okay, hey everybody, Tekking101 here. This is a video with a very simple premise. I'm just gonna set you right there. What's going on with Marco and the rest of the Whitebeard pirates? Can they even be called the Whitebeard pirates? Whitebeard's dead. So, I mean, I guess they could keep his name as sort of just like a tradition, sort of like to honor their fallen captain. We were the Whitebeard pirates then, and we are the Whitebeard pirates now. I don't know. Phoenix Pirates sound pretty badass, although I think there already were Phoenix Pirates, but that was like in an anime filler, so, you know, okay, Puzzle was a cool character. I mean, I'm not gonna debate that. He was pretty awesome, but come on, Marco and the Phoenix Pirates, yeah! Or even Jozu and the Diamond Pirates, that would be sweet. So, yeah, what's going on with them? Because it's not just, very likely we're gonna get to see them soon, it's very possible, and the spoilers from the next chapter aren't out yet, but it's, you know, in between the story arcs right now, so, you know, if Oda really wanted to, it would not be out of the realm of possibility for, Marco and the gang to show up in the very next chapter. So I wanted to talk about, you know, the situation with them. Because from what we know so far, how this happened is after the war at Marineford, after the death of Whitebeard and Ace, you know, you had the Whitebeard pirates, they had to retreat, and a year later, during the time skip, they had something called the Payback War, where Marco and the surviving members of the Whitebeard crew attacked Blackbeard. He was a Yonko, I guess, at this point, or this might have actually been the moment when Blackbeard became a Yonko. And Blackbeard apparently just decimated them. He just, you know, beat the shit out of the surviving members of the Whitebeard crew, and apparently the captains disappeared at that point. Now, I don't know if that means that, like, Marco, after suffering this defeat at Blackbeard's hands, not once but twice, decided, you know, okay, the Whitebeard crew is disbanded, no more, we're just, you know, parting ways. And so Marco and Jozu and Vista and all the, all the other, you know, leaders of the squads just left, and the crew just disbanded. Or if it just means they went into hiding, they went into seclusion somewhere. They're holing up in an island, you know, kind of out in the middle of nowhere, just kind of waiting for their time and to take over, you know, take out Blackbeard once and for all. Something along those lines. Now, after the events of Zou, you had Nekomamushi's group that is heading to try to find Marco. The Great Pineapple Search is afoot! I found one! But, no, that's just one of the funny scenes in One Piece that I like, when Luffy was trying to remember Marco's face, because he's like, they were talking about Marco on Zou, and Luffy's just like, that name, it's so familiar, who is that guy? Marco, and then Robin just chimes in the background, like, his head kind of looks like a pineapple. I'm like, oh yeah, that dude, yeah, and then you see a little image of Marco there, like, yo, sup? And it's like, yeah, okay. So, a few things to kind of unpack about this that's a little bit weird, okay? So, first off, this really does kind of cement how strong Blackbeard's crew is, if nothing else, okay? Because Blackbeard was able to beat back Marco and the surviving captains. Now, this would be less impressive if, like, right after Marineford, Marco led, like, an attack against Blackbeard. You know, like, you know, Marineford happens, Whitebeard Ace dies, Blackbeard makes his intention known, steals the Gura no Mi, and then, like, next week, Marco's like, let's go and kill them in the honor of our captain and of Ace! You know, and if they charged in all hot and freaking bothered, like, you know, we're gonna take you out, and Blackbeard just, you know, ran a trap on them or whatever, and just, you know, used their emotions against them and took them out, like they were attacking blind, basically. But that's not what happened at all. Marco is a smart guy. He was the commander of the 1st Division. He was the right hand of Whitebeard. After the events of Marineford, they kind of left and just kind of like, you know, they had the funeral for Ace and for Whitebeard on the island with Shanks, and then they're like, oh, what do we do now? I'm like, now we get our revenge. Now we plan our revenge. And they probably went away and it's like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And they were keeping track of Blackbeard for probably that entire year. They probably had spies. They probably had other crews helping them out. And the culmination of that moment, we don't know the whole details of how the Payback War played out, but the culmination of an entire year of careful planning to take out Blackbeard, to get revenge for Whitebeard, resulted in Blackbeard defeating Marco and the rest of the crew. Now, once again, we don't know the whole story there. We don't know the whole fighting power we had. Like, when Whitebeard ruled up to Marineford, not only did he have his own crew and all the different squadron leaders, he also had a bunch of ships under his employ that were, like, just allies of him, you know, like Witty Bay and Thunder Magai and the Walrus Dude. You know, we don't know if they had that many people with them during the Payback War. You'd think they would. You'd think they'd be like, oh, hell yeah, Marco, we'll help you get revenge for Whitebeard. We'll take that freaking Blackbeard asshole out once and for all. But you never know. They might be like, hey, look, you know, we've still suffered injuries, or he's too powerful. You know, we're afraid that we might get wiped out too. You never know what might happen there. Marco might have felt like it's a personal thing too. He might have just been like, no, I'm not going to ask you guys to do that. You know, this is something that we have to take care of. We're his crew, we're Whitebeard's crew, and Blackbeard used to be part of us. We need to be the ones to take him out right now. It's not the same exact thing with Ace, because when Ace was being executed and, you know, Whitebeard had all of his allies and everything, it was like basically them, the pirates, versus the world government or the Marines. This is something more of a personal matter because Blackbeard is involved directly. So Marco might have very well have just been like, no, it has to be us. It has to be us, the squadron leaders, and Whitebeard's crew. Nobody else can get involved here. I don't want anybody else getting involved. I don't want anyone else, you know, maybe getting wiped out because of a squabble that has to be handled in our way. But the point of the matter is, you had Marco the Phoenix, you had Diamond Jozu, you had Flower Sword Vista, you had all of the other squadron leaders that are all very good fighters in their own right. You had Nymer, who is a fishman. You had Flamenco that could pull out giant hammers out of his chin flap things. You had this guy with the Masters of the Universe He-Man haircut. His name's King Do. You have this guy, I think his name is Fosso, with the blazing katana. You know, you had a lot of good fighters on this freaking crew, and, you know, we don't exactly know where Blackbeard's crew stacked up back then, because this was, like, right in the middle of the time skip. You know, at Marineford, he had, like, you know, his original crew members, like, 5, and then he had Shiryu, and then all the level 6 prisoners, but a year later after that, you know, we don't know where he's at. Right now, Blackbeard is an admiral. He's a Yonko. He has a freaking bunch of ships under his employ, probably a bunch of freaking, pirates working for him, but where was he a year ago? We don't know. We don't also know the circumstances here. Maybe Marco was planning a big attack and he had everything ready to go and he had spies, but maybe maybe Blackbeard was onto them. Maybe he figured something out and he had an ambush on him and he's like, oh shit, we thought we were gonna have the jump on them, but they ended up getting the jump on us and we ended up getting wiped out. Now, in terms of casualties, obviously Marco is still going to be alive, because that's the whole point. You know, Nekomamushi is looking for Marco right now. They're trying to find him, so he's definitely going to be alive. But there might have also been some serious casualties from the Payback War. It might have been a few of the squadron leaders that might have kicked the bucket. There's like 16 of them, so you could probably kill a few without it being a big deal. A lot of just the standard pirates on the crew could have bit the dust. And imagine being Marco in that situation. I want you to picture this. Marco is the 1st Division commander of the Whitebeard crew. He's the right arm of Whitebeard. And then after Marineford, Whitebeard dies, and everybody looks to him for leadership. And Marco, you know, he's a good leader, so he probably wasn't, like, freaking out about it. He's like, you know, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna take over, and, you know, Whitebeard is still our captain in spirit, and we're gonna avenge him. That's what we're going to do. But then after a year of waiting and then finally going at this Payback War thing, at the end of that, they lose. And they might have lost some numbers. Can you imagine being Marco in that instance? To be like, oh my god, I tried my best, Whitebeard. I'm sorry, I failed. I'm not any good. You know what, you guys, just go your separate ways. I can't deal with this anymore. It would be, we tried our best and we failed, and I don't want anyone more. I don't want anybody else to die. So I could see Marco just, you know, pulling the Aokiji route and putting on the freaking drifter clothes, maybe growing a little bit of a goatee, and then just wandering the new world, you know, with a backpack. You know, just flying places with his Phoenix power, helping people out in need. Okay, I'm getting a little bit, you know, that's a little bit out there. But, you know, I could see him doing that. Now, something else I brought up when I was talking about Ace's crew, because it was revealed in one of the One Piece magazines that, you know, here's all of Ace's crew members, the Spade Pirates, that joined up with the Whitebeard Pirates after Ace got, you know, taken in. I want to see some of those guys. I want to see, like, Mass Deuce, who was, like, the second commander of Ace's Spade Pirates, the first mate there. I was imagining, like, eventually Nekomamushi was going to arrive on an island out in the New World, and you have all the Whitebeard pirates just kind of sitting there and just, like, you know, what the hell do you guys want, basically. But the way that it's spoken about and the way that the commanders separated, it really does seem like the crew got disbanded, and when they do find him, Nekomamushi, it's pretty much just going to be maybe Marco. Marco and maybe somebody else might be with them, like maybe Vista or Jozu left with Marco or something like that. Or maybe Marco head out on his own and just like, you know what, I don't want to, guys, I seriously, just, you could do what you want, I'm gonna go. But I think what it's going to come down to, and this is going to be the moment that's going to kind of like revitalize everything, is just like, okay, hey, look, you tried. You don't have to do this by yourself. Don't feel like just because Whitebeard was your captain and he died and Blackbeard did this horrible thing and Blackbeard used to be part of your crew, you know, you don't have to do this by yourself. You know, the Minks are on your side. We have the Straw Hats that are on your side. We have the Heart Pirates that are on your side. You know, we've done all these crazy things. You know, we can work together here, and we can finally figure out a way to take this bastard down. So I think that's going to be like the moment, and it's not going to be easy. It's probably not going to be just as easy as just like walking up to Marco and being like, "Hey, Marco, come help us out, kill Blackbeard." And Marco's like, "Okay." No, it's probably going to be a very emotional moment where Marco is, like, very hesitant to do this anymore. He's just like, or even if he did leave the crew, he's like, how can I go and see them again? How could I possibly, you know, face them after what happened? And be like, listen, you know, Whitebeard was a father to us all. We're all family here. Okay, and right now we kind of need to have that kind of solidarity, if nothing else, because everything else is just kind of crumbling apart right now. Blackbeard is a Yonko. He's taken over the sea. He's really powerful. We can't have that bastard hold on to the old man's devil fruit. We need to get it back. So, you know, we understand you tried your best, but we can work together and we can make this happen. Alright, so I really want to see Marco again. I always thought he was a really cool character. All the characters, I thought, like, even the squadron commanders that we don't get to see very much of during Marineford, like Atmos, or who was the crossdresser one? He was like the 16th. He was pretty cool. He had guns and shit. He's dressed up like a geisha. Let's see, King Do, the He-Man looking guy, he didn't seem like much to begin with, but I'm like, okay, that's cool. You could do stuff with that. I want to find more out about Blamenko, the 6th Division commander that had the devil fruit that allowed him to pull stuff out of hammer space just in the little pockets. So a bunch of little interesting concepts that Oda came up with for these leaders, and we didn't really get to see them all that showcased during Marineford. I mean, yeah, we got to see the major ones like Marco, Jozu, Vista, obviously, but not all of them. You could have a moment here where we actually get to see them all together and they introduce themselves, like who they really are, like a reintroduction of all the different squadron leaders and what they're capable of and what they could do, and like an epic battle here. If there's ever going to be a epic final battle with Blackbeard in that kind of scale, which I'm pretty sure there's going to be, you know, the Straw Hats have to be part of that, but also you could have the Whitebeard pirates and the Minks backing them up, you know? So, yeah, I could totally see that there. Now, as for where Marco's located, like, right now, like, in the context of the story, there's two ways you could look at it. You could say, like, oh, well, just for the sake of convenience, Marco is going to be on an island, you know, like Wano or something like that. So it's like, oh, everybody's just here together, okay? I wouldn't like that. I think that would be a little bit too contrived, a little bit too convenient, you know what I mean? I would much prefer it just to be like, oh, yeah, there's just some random island out in the New World that Marco's laying low right now. That's one option. He's just living in solitude. Another option is this. He decides, okay, we tried to do this together to take out Blackbeard at the Payback War. It didn't work. A lot of people might have died. So what Marco's going to do now is he's going to try to do like a kamikaze kind of move. Like he's going to try to be like, you know what? I can't let my crewmates get involved here, but you know what? I'm taking this bastard out. Come hell or high water. Last thing I do on this earth, I'm taking this guy out. Alright, so he might try to do a suicide attack against Blackbeard directly. You know, you could see Marco doing that. Like, if the Payback War was really, like, pretty bad, like, if it went south, like, if a lot of Whitebeard pirates died at the Payback War, and Marco really left, I could see him being like, alright, I'm just gonna strap a bunch of bombs to my chest to just, you know, to pull what Law did when Doflamingo just had a bunch of grenades on a belt around his chest. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna figure out a way to get close to him, and I'm just gonna do it. Alright? Now, I hope that's not what actually goes down, but, you know, from the perspective of Marco trying to avenge Whitebeard and Ace and all of his crewmates, his mind might be twisted a bit. There might be a difference of personality since the last time we saw Marco. It's been a while since we've seen the pineapple, okay? So, yeah, and that might be something else where Nekomamushi, maybe like one of the Straw Hats, if they ever come in contact with him or something. Like, Nekomamushi finds him, but he's all, like, he might be straight up bonkers. We don't know. He might be on some island somewhere being like... Hi there, giant kitty cat. I'm a bird that can't die. I mean, you never know. I mean, he's seen some shit. So Nekomamushi be like, okay, buddy, come on, let's go. And then they find him later, and he's in this state of severe, like, it's like, okay, yeah. I was like, yeah, we found him, but yeah, he's not exactly all there. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm throwing it out there as a possibility. We don't know how bad the Payback War was. It could have been just something where Blackbeard showed up and just kind of, like, you know, crushed them. Maybe a few of them died and most of them got away. Or it could have been something where, like, you know, Chozu could have died. Vista could have died. Marco's seeing all this blood around him and he's like, oh my god! You know? In terms of being injured himself, Marco, it's kind of hard for him to get injured. I mean, I guess it's possible. You know, he has the Phoenix Fruit. He can recover from pretty much any injury. So I don't think it's going to be like Aokiji, where next time you see Marco, he's, like, missing a leg or something. The only way I could see that maybe going to, like, would it even be possible for him to do that? Because you figure, let's say, you know, you take a sword and hockey it up, you know, and then you cut off Marco's leg. You know, it would have hockey. It would be able to cut through the leg fine, and Marco's not a Logia or anything, but after the leg, you know, is cut off, and after the hockey blade is gone, couldn't Marco just, oh, okay, flame up, and there you go. That's my flame sound effect. It's like Marco taking a massive Phoenix shit. But no, I mean, like, would that work? If he was, like, bound by Sea Prism Stone and then you cut it off, he wouldn't be able to heal it, but then if he got the Sea Prism off, he would be able to heal it again. Actually, I just thought of something. Okay, Marco at Marineford, he had the Sea Prism Stone handcuffs on him, right? Yeah. Okay, why couldn't he have just went up to one of his crewmates and just been like, cut my arm off? Because he couldn't get the handcuffs were on only one wrist, and he couldn't get them off. Why couldn't he just gone up to one of his, cut this off? Ow, that hurt. Okay, flame up. Alright, we're good. Why couldn't he have done that? So there might be a limit to what he could totally, like, recover from with his Phoenix Fruit. Every time that we've seen him, and this might just be an example of, like, anime censorship, but most of the time whenever we see him regenerate, he's already in his Phoenix form. Like, he turns into his, like, fire coming out of him, and then Kizaru pumps him full of laser beams, and the lasers just seem to, like, punch a hole through the fire, and then the flames just kind of close up. We've never seen Marco, like, straight up, like, get an arm cut off, and then, like, oh, blood everywhere, and then flame up, and then, like, yeah! You know, I don't think we've ever really seen that. He got shot through the chest a few times, and he was able to heal from that. But that might just be like a censorship thing, so, right. In terms of the other commanders, I mean, I would like to think they're either all together. Marco is part of everybody. Or Marco left, and then, like, Jozu and Vista and all Flamenco and all the other ones are just in one. I don't want this to make, like, okay, we found Marco, now we need to find Jozu. Okay, we found Jozu, now we need to find Vista. And just moving on down the line. I don't think it's going to be something like that. But there's probably going to definitely be some leftover wounds, maybe physical and mental, or both, after the Payback War and everything. So we're definitely going to see where this is going to go. Let me know below about what you think is going to happen, when we're going to see Marco again, what's going to be the whole deal with the Whitebeard crew that's remaining. What about the Spade Pirates that are remaining from Ace's crew? You know, are they going to be there as well? And how's this whole thing going to work? Are they all going to meet up at Wano, and then after the whole Kaido shit, figure out a way to take on, hey, took on Big Mom, and then they're going to Wano to take on Kaido. After the whole Wano thing, they may be like, alright, let's take on Blackbeard, let's do this. So, yeah, let me know below. Now, The hell am I gonna do with this pineapple? I mean, pineapple's okay. I like it on pizza, but I just feel like, you know, I have this giant pineapple. I feel like I should have something to, you know, do with it. Shing. I feel like if I do it horizontal, it's just gonna fall off the damn thing. So let's just try a grand chop here. Don't try this at home. I mean, or do. I'm not your mom. Yeah. That was cool. Man, this thing's sharp as shit. Okay. So, cool. Fresh pineapple and only a little bit of grass in there.